lot of people want to know how to maximize their workers' compensation case. I get it. You want more out of your case because you need it for your livelihood. And that's why you need to listen to this video. Now, if you have a specific injury at work, you fall, you hurt your back, you're going to go to the medical clinic, you're going to complain about your back, and they're going to treat you for your back. But you also need to understand that if you've been working there for a while, and you've been doing heavy labor, or any type of repetitive work, even if it's not that heavy, such as typing or anything, you can also allege a legitimate cumulative trauma injury to other body parts and systems. For example, let's say you type a lot at work and you've been having wrist problems. Well, that's a legitimate workers' compensation injury. It's known as a cumulative trauma. But if you go to the medical clinic for your back injury and you never complain about your wrists being sore, then no one's going to ever treat those body parts, and you're not going to be able to allege those as part of a cumulative trauma. It's going to lower the value of your workers' compensation case. And this is not common knowledge. And the way that people get more out of their workers' compensation cases is they also allege cumulative trauma in addition to specific injury. You might say, well, adjuster, my wrists are also hurting from my work. I want the doctor to also treat those body parts. I want them to check me for carpal tunnel. I want a nerve conduction test to determine, if I have any problems. I'm having numbness and tingling in my fingers. Or maybe your knees might be feeling bad. They might be clicking, or you might have pain, burning in your knees. If you're on the job all day, standing up, kneeling, bending, stooping, climbing, those are going to also be legitimate workers' compensation injuries that you can allege to get more out of your workers' compensation case. The list goes on. It could be elbows, it could be shoulders, it could be your neck, it could be your fingers, okay? It could be your hips. A lot of people go in for a back injury and they complain to the doctor that their back's hurting from a fall that they had or an auto accident they're in, and they get that treated, but it doesn't make them better. And they actually have a hip issue. You have a gait issue. If you're compensating because your back's hurting, start to develop a gait problem, and it's a hip issue. You have hip deterioration, arthritis. So there's a lot of different injuries that you might develop over time that you don't know that you can actually allege as a cumulative trauma or repetitive work activity case and get money for that, permanent disability money. Now you have to keep in mind, if you do that, you're going to get more permanent disability. You might also get more permanent work restrictions at the end of the claim. It could displace you from your job. If your employer can't reasonably accommodate those restrictions that you get, you could lose your job. So maybe it's something you don't want to push too hard, but if you're thinking that you're going to retire, or you're thinking that the job's going to terminate you after you filed this workers' comp claim, it's time to start thinking about maximizing the value of the claim to you. You need to start thinking about cumulative trauma. Start thinking about your knees, your shoulder, your neck, your back, your hips, your feet, okay? Internal systems as well. If you've been exposed to chemicals, dust, particulates, you might have your lungs checked, okay? These are all in addition to the specific injury that you just had. And also, you want to check out the workers' compensation playbook that I made. It's a playlist right here on YouTube. It's going to give you all the ins and outs of the workers' compensation system and how to maximize your situation. There's a lot of things you got to watch out for. It's going to pop up right here. Go ahead and watch every video in there. It's going to take you, 20, 30 minutes. You're going to become an expert on all the different situations and how to maximize your claim, even if you have a lawyer. This isn't legal advice. This is general stuff that I've picked up after doing thousands of workers' compensation claims.